So this is basically the Super Bowl one you've been wanting. Like, I know you want to really, really feel good about those Chiefs going down. Coach is going to give you that in this one, but we got to start off playing a little bit of cleanup because Coach meant to put some of this information in the last one. I kind of hinted at it. I didn't realize I had the screenshots right there ready to go. But Lawrence, Jean, David. So Lawrence and Jean both flagged. Lawrence married Lori Leonard. So Larry and Lori. How cute. Now, basically, like I told you, sixth cousin once removed of Barry Sanders, if you believe that bullshit. Brooklyn, Schmewish, of course. Brother at Tau Epsilon Phi. He paid a psychiatrist to get him out of the army or military, whatever. Let's see. So Julia Louis Dreyfus. Coach said, Louis Dreyfus. Where do I know that from? I know that name, and not from her. Like, it's like a dude, right? So Coach is saying, so Cuban, Elaine, right? So that's Elaine, right? Louis Dreyfus Company, just this little mom and pop shop, just happens to be, let's see, dominating world agricultural commodity trading. So that's something. 10% of all world's agricultural product trade flows through this one company, world's number one largest cotton and Jerry Rice eating rice trader. Okay. Also regarded by many as the second largest player in the world's sugar market. Also, third biggest trader of copper, zinc, and lead, behind only Glencore and Trafigura. Okay, or whatever the hell that is. Right, so they're absolutely booming. There's no way she had a dream to be an actress or something. She just has to play her role in the club, right? Everybody's got to do their part, right? You can't just get born and live for free, even in the richest of the rich. Whatever, they gotta propagate the lies and the brainwashing to make sure they all stay on top of the food chain, right? So let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, so branch of the dynasty began in Paris. Robert Louis Dreyfus, he's a CEO of Adidas. Yo, like, these people are big time. Okay, 6-Day War. Louis Dreyfus identifies as agnostic. We know she's a Satanist shmew. Let's be real. And then, so everybody's crying about how Saquon doesn't make enough money in comparison to the receivers, and it is very obviously there's been an agenda to minimize the running back position, even though they take a majority of the beating. A lot of times they've been some of the greatest players in the history of the sport, Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, etc. The list goes on and on. Sweetness, right? So Coach says this is a good way to put running backs back on the map, have a team win with a backup quarterback and a star running back. Just to let you know that that quarterbacks are overrated, running backs are heavily underrated, and being a good football player is a good football player. That's that. So Hurts, extremely unpopular name, 272 palindrome times, right? And 0 out of 100,000 people. Also means suffering. So we did the Aaron McKee thing a little bit. Now we're getting to the tough stuff, right? So Coach is going to really try to bring this all in. Let me see if I have anything in the notes to help me out here before we get into this. Okay, because I'm trying to really bring a big, deep thing around. So first, just a minor thing that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles for the same team first game of the season, just like Vinny Testaverde did. So that's hilarious. Lombardi three-peated before the Super Bowl era. We know Otto Graham three-peated before that. So it's not that three-peats are impossible. But that Dolphins team that went perfect in the early 70s, even they couldn't three-peat. So really put into perspective what we're talking about them doing here. That Chiefs team, say what you want about them. I don't love them, but they've never gone perfect. Like, I would say I don't love the Dolphins or anything like that, but the Chiefs have never gone perfect. I can't imagine that this dynasty is better than that Dolphins team, especially we're talking about before free agency, all that sort of stuff. Like, they wouldn't have had players getting picked off. Like, I'm sure the Chiefs have been losing players. Right, so I think it's just too much to overcome. But let me just try my best here, okay? So, for one, Trump was president when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. And Trump straight up canceled the White House visit because a lot of the Eagles players were going to boycott. And it was like, peak of protesting police brutality. We had a lot of outspoken black leaders that were very likable. Malcolm Jenkins, I'm sure others I can't think of right off, but he was certainly the one I remember the most, getting all the press and making good points, that sort of stuff. So, basically, there was going to be a lot of people that weren't going to show up for the Trump White House visit, so he just canceled the whole thing because, he's an egomaniac, right? Well, Trump, when he congratulated the Chiefs on their Super Bowl win, he thought they were from Kansas. Okay, so that was a big faux pas, right? Like, oh, it's not, he doesn't even know they're from Missouri, all that sort of stuff. Coach is thinking with the Chiefs losing and being from Missouri, doesn't that make my Blues loss look a lot better? I think it is the Maple Leafs beating the Blues, dog. So I'm just saying, as weird as it seems, and how little I know about hockey, I think I might have actually got that one right. And then, time will tell, of course. But then there's a lot more to it, right? So Trump, he pulls the Grover Cleveland. So Joe Biden comes in. Chiefs get to win a couple more. Obviously, Brittany Mahomes getting slammed for being a Trumper. Taylor Swift is, all about Kamala, liberal shit. So, like, they're torn, all that sort of stuff. They don't have that same form of unity. But, the Eagles are even more woke now and way more intolerable. They're the cringe left. Like that, you could have, you probably would have a hard time finding a problem with a lot of the things the 2018 Eagles were saying, but this Eagles with Hurts and stuff, oh my God, even coach can't take it, right? And he knows it's all fake and bullshit. He's like, oh my God, they're so pukey. Like, why don't they just go? I don't know. Coach can't say what he really wants to say. He thinks they're a bunch of bundles of sticks for real. Especially Hurts with this fucking purse. But yeah. So basically, they're gonna be more outspoken than ever. Trump will find some way to diss Hurts and congratulate it. Tanner McKee. There's just way too many angles there to think that that's not how it's going down in some capacity. Like just as much as we love Trump making it for the Lions because he dissed Detroit, the Eagles is way better. They already won a Super Bowl and they canceled the whole shit. That's way too good. You get to bring all that fucking dumb shit up again. I'm just saying. Right? So, and Trump didn't say jack shit about the Eagles making it to the Super Bowl this time around. So during his first term, Trump canceled a planned White House visit by the Eagles, who had won the 2018 Super Bowl. After some players decided to boycott the event. So coach likes shows work, so you don't have to take his word for it. So yeah, they were kneeling, police brutality. I'm sure this was like probably somewhat near to the Colin Kaepernick situation, timeline wise. So, like it's just way too much, man. Like they're not even gonna have a parade if they win. I think it make like think about Eastbound and Down. Like if Kenny Powers just went out and just was smoking hot all the time and never lost, like nobody would care, right? But you love him because it's like, he's human, right? Yeah, he's got that ungodly arm, but every once in a while someone will get his number or something like that, and you see that human side and you kind of feel remotely bad for him. Patrick needs something bad because it will make people like him more. He's not likable right now. They never lose. People have forgotten that they're even capable of losing. They feel like they're not even earning this trip. Once they lose and everybody realizes that it wasn't rigged for the Chiefs this whole time, even though it was, right? Once they believe they've seen the proof that it wasn't rigged for them, they're going to immediately feel bad. Oh, man, that really was a great team. They almost fucking won 3 in a row. And, there's probably going to be some sort of bad calls in that Super Bowl or something that gives them a little bit of an excuse. They always do just enough to muddy the waters and let you argue whichever opinion you want to argue pretty much. So, that's basically all Coach has there. I think he's running out of steam, but I just cannot possibly see it for the Chiefs. It makes absolutely no sense. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I won't even try to justify it. I don't even think I'll be. I mean, like anybody can see some sort of. He's like, oh yeah, they won a three-peat. I'm like, okay, yeah, but none of it. It's juicy to Coach. Coach can't sink his teeth in anything Kansas City. He thinks the Eagles are just. I mean, they're just stacked. It's exactly what you would want for a big Trump spectacle, blow up, kickstart some sort of conversation. You got to talk about how they beat the Redskins, right? If the Chiefs win, you don't even have to mention the fucking Redskins. So I just think there's just way too much. Like it's just I can honestly say, besides the other Eagles Super Bowl, it's the easiest one I've ever called. I just cannot imagine the Eagles are blowing it. So I'm just gonna end it on that. Coach just wants to say thank you so much for watching, especially those that have been here the entire time. So, this is an excerpt from Doug Peterson's book. Coach just thought it was interesting that he said there was a Christian man who had a very big influence on him when he was in Kansas City named Dr. Don Brady. Now, Coach couldn't find any information on Don Brady, but isn't it very interesting? So he beats Tom Brady, and Tom Brady and Robert Kraft, very famously Donald Trumpers, right? Coach wanted to make an Amelia Earhart, Jimmie Johnson, and Dale Earnhardt connection. Coach could not, but he's got something better for you. I'm sorry. Jimmie Johnson's, we're going to call this one Jimmie Johnson's hidden win. So first of all, let's look at the number trick, right? 676 races, palindrome 676. 67 or 7 both ways, or 76 both ways, and he had 76 wins. Okay, also 22 pulse, a repeating number. Now that's not what's interesting. We know he drives the number 84 Toyota. Okay, and he is currently tied for 6th most wins of all time. Now Coach thought it was weird that he has 83 wins, but if you look, he has a hidden win, okay, in the Xfinity series. So when you add it up, right, boom, over the course of his racing career, he won a total of 84 NASCAR races. I am telling you, if this motherfucker does not crash and die at Daytona, I mean, I know nothing about this sport. I mean, even the ones I say nothing about, like hockey, like I know a little bit about hockey. I don't know jack shit about NASCAR. I got no business in like there's just no fucking logical reason for me to have any type of beat on any type of racing at any point in time. But I'm telling you, I just fucking know this is what they're doing at Daytona this year. I'm positive this motherfucker's getting iced. He has he's 6 on the all-time wins list too. I'm just telling you, dude, there's just no way. Like, if he doesn't, then that's just as good, because then we know NASCAR is just like totally whack and we never need to watch ever again. But to me, it's like they've driven so many people away from NASCAR. This would be the perfect type of tragedy to get people talking about it again and thinking it's still dangerous. It's not sissified, right? So, it would really be something if this happens and Austin Dillon doesn't win. Am I right? Like, that would definitely suck. But I mean, as long as he goes down, that's all I care about. Honestly, I'd be mad if Austin Dillon wins and Jimmie doesn't die. I'm more invested in Jimmie dying than getting the fucking bets on the pay slips. And I honestly think that's where you need to be anyway. So, Coach has actually thought about, once again, going back away from the gambling stuff a little bit, but it's hard to, because I do like the gambling aspects too, but I just think sometimes it shifts the focus away from all, like we can't be getting mad every time a team like the fucking Commanders bites it. We always knew that was a long shot, and we already got so much good shit going for us. Like, we're gonna obsess over that one thing when we could have just as easily seen the Eagles beating the Chiefs if we were being honest with ourselves, right? We picked that before the Commanders, right? For a brief minute, we just didn't want it. So even though I'm an Eagles fan, like, it just felt greedy. Like, why do I need another championship? You know what I mean? Like, but once you really think about it in the grand scheme, it's like, I guess it is time for it again. They just ran that long cycle over again at hyperspeed, and like a 6-year span, it's all ready to be cooking again, or 7 years, whatever you want to say. Right, so Coach, appreciate